God, you're father, man.
Hi folks, welcome to Thrill Seekers Unleashed. Today we're doing a carpentry video. Going to be building a very large birdhouse. So, there's multiple steps involved to that. First off, we have to do our marking, which can be done with a combination square, and mine comes with a pin. If you don't have that, you can use a pencil or any type of cutting tool. Takes a bit of time. So these two pieces are going to be the front and back. I think I'll probably use this piece for the front because it's less knotty, and then this will be either the base or one of the side walls. I'll decide as I go on.
And what's these?
These. So we got the front and back here. These are going to be extra pieces. They're actually going to be used as a loft kind of a deal for the inside, so then we could use as much space on the interior as possible. Important tip to know, when you're using a handsaw, always keep your index finger out of the handle. So you want to make it like this with your dominant hand when you're sawing. Then it's easier to keep the saw steady as you make your cut. Next up, I want to measure this piece to know how I'm going to use it best. So this piece I could easily use for one of the roof components actually. And with that in mind, we're going to cut our next roof component from this board. Now for our roof components, we need to consider the depth of the board. So these boards are 3/4 of an inch, and this roof component is 13 inches, so we have a slight overhang. So for our next roof component, we're going to cut it to 12¼ inches. And then I'm going to full line across, like so. And then the rest of this will make for the base and sidewall. So this is going to be the first time that we're driving nails. So for hardware, you're going to need some basic utility hinges, some nails, and then 2 Phillips head screws, which should be roughly the length of the nails, if not slightly smaller. Can kind of adjust it to your liking here slightly. Now when you work with hand tools, especially sawing, you're going to get rough patches, which makes it difficult to really see your lines and to make everything flush. But at the end of this, I'm going to go through with some sandpaper and clean them up. And then we take our nails and a basic framing hammer, preferably made by Stanley, however not sponsored. Now it's not overly strong, but there is a way that you can fix that. This is called toenailing. You start the nail off simple like so, and then you sort of bend it. You might bang up your board a bit, but that's all right. And the same on the other side. And I think we're good to go.
How sturdy is it now?
Not significantly more sturdy, but it takes a little bit more force to wobble. But then again, the finished product, you know, the stability of these two roof components doesn't matter because we're also going to fasten it to each of these components.
Right.
Now these are select pine common boards 1x12. However, they're not a solid 12 inches after they've been dimensioned. They're going to be 11.25 inch. Some of the easiest components, the two sidewalls. But this is a little bit more complicated because throughout the entirety of this video up to this point, we've just been making cross cuts. This time we're gonna have to make a rip cut as well. And we're gonna have to remove 1.5 inches from the width of this so that it can match up to our front and back wall.
So what's a rip cut for those who don't know?
Oh, a rip cut in layman's terms is a cut that goes with the grain, so vertically. All right, so I have this trimmed off. We're gonna set that aside for now. And now we have a board that's optimal width for our wall pieces. Take our trusty tri-square again. What I want ideally are 12-inch walls. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna have enough material for that though. Now this is the only waste factor we have in the entire project. Close enough. So I clamped this thing up off camera. Now we need four, maybe 5 nails for this. We're gonna start off with 4. And then you'll do the same thing to the other side. All right, and then last but not least, we're gonna have the 4th wall. This side isn't super tight or flush, but it doesn't really have to be. So you might notice this side isn't overly flush. Now that might startle you at first, but it's really fine because this is going to be the back side, so it's never really going to be seen. I decided just now to designate that as the back side for that very purpose. Now you may notice when you assemble your birdhouse, you may have a few gaps, like the ones I'm pointing to here. Now, there's no need to be alarmed by this because this provides for optimal airflow, and a lot of wildlife and birds enjoy that.
Final nail. And
Now the only power tool you'll need for this project is a drill. And with that drill, you'll also need some spade bits. Again, not sponsored, but I really like my Diablo spade bits. So. Sorry. This thing. Now we have our main hole here. This is going to be an entrance for our birds. Might be a little small, but the birds that are meant to be housed in here are black-capped chickadees, which are just barely small enough to fit in this entrance. So the two sizes of spade bits you'll need are 1.5 inches and then a 1/2 inch. So here I have a 1/2 inch pine dowel. I made this myself, and if you don't have a way of making your own dowels, you can always run to your local hardware store and buy some. We have the whole board here for the whole, or for the...
Hold it out, just keep your hand.
We have the whole board here for the dowel. And then we're just gonna drive it in with our hammer. It's good as gold. So, you might think now we have everything ready, but wait, the base and the scraps. Now you might be wondering what the purpose of these ledges will be. The idea behind that is that the birds can utilize as much space in here as possible, especially the upper spaces, because this is particularly tall. So to have a single floor wouldn't be too ideal, and we'd waste a lot of space. Like so. And then, so now that we have the ledges in place as they have to be, we're gonna go to the base. This is where, to square this up to the bottom of our walls. Now, ever so often, you're gonna wanna open this thing up and clean it to your liking. So for that, I have hinges here. And then, should open. But wait, it doesn't. I have these screws in to lock it in place. And whenever you want to open them up, just back the screws out and clean to your liking. So this is our finished product.